Two separate families are suffering from major heartaches after two tragedies occurred. So a tragic tubing incident took the life of a young woman, and now the man who was involved in the accident has taken his own life. This was on the day of her funeral. 24-year-old Tony Dindia was allegedly driving the boat that was towing 24-year-old Kaylee Siddell as she was tubing when that boat he was driving tragically slammed into another boat. This took place in Oregon on the Willamette River on June 22nd. Kaylee is reportedly from Vancouver, Washington. And she died due to the impact of the crash that was said to have occurred around 8 p.m. that day. Her family was allegedly pushing for manslaughter charges to be brought against Tony, the driver of the boat. However, a second tragedy occurred before any lawsuits or legal action could be taken. Reportedly, authorities were called to Tony's home in Sandy, Oregon on July 14th. And they found that he had passed away, and this was on the same day as Kaylee's funeral. Relatives and friends have confirmed he did indeed take his life. Kaylee's friend stated that the accident that took place on June 22nd happened when the driver took a turn too quickly. This friend claimed that Kaylee was pleading with Tony to drive a lot more slower than he was and to quit driving so erratically. Allegedly, he did not hear her. She stated that she and her best friend Kaylee had just gotten out of the water, having a fun time when everything changed in an instant. She said that seeing her friend hurt and helpless is something she can't shake, and that making that call to her family was absolutely horrible. Her friend stated that she's overwhelmed with both guilt and sadness and wonders why things happened the way they did. She said that survivor's guilt is so real and something she has to carry every day. Kaylee had posted pictures that showed her and her friend smiling and laughing. This was only 3 hours before she was killed. Kaylee's aunt stated to a news outlet that this situation is very sad and that it's not the kind of justice they were hoping for, because now his family has to go through what they're going through. So in other words, now two families are heartbroken. Some people felt like Tony should have been charged with her death, causing her death. And one person stated that Kaylee was normally not one to worry, but the fact that she was pleading with him to slow down must have really meant he was driving carelessly and dangerously. They said her doing that, the pleading was so unlike her, because she was always like, let's go, let's have fun. So if she was telling him to slow down, it's because she was definitely scared. Kaylee's sister told a local news outlet that Kaylee was so innocent and her life was taken so violently because of someone else's decision to be reckless, and that she got invited out to go on that boat and did, having no idea it would be the last day of her life. Tony has been remembered as an amazing person who is both outgoing and adventurous. One person stated that he was a great person to the bone and that they looked up to him and his accomplishments. They said he will be missed by everyone who had the honor of knowing him. Kaylee has also been remembered as being a wonderful lady, and her family recently released hundreds of pink balloons on July 14th outside of a church in her own town, and that was in her memory and honor. While they were releasing the balloons and at her funeral, they were completely oblivious that Tony had just taken his life hours earlier. One of Kaylee's friends stated that she will always be remembered as someone who left a mark on hearts of all those she knew. This friend said that Kaylee had a love for adventure and that her zest for life was truly inspiring, and that's what she was doing up until her very last moment on that boat, enjoying her life and living life to the fullest. It was said she approached every challenge with courage and grace, and she would always find the silver lining even in the darkest of times. So honestly, it sounds like both of these individuals were great people. Sounds like a careless decision was definitely made that ended up taking the life of two great young people who had the rest of their lives ahead of them. This is so sad. My heart and prayers go out to all of those who knew both Tony and Kaylee.